All right, so welcome to our U Media Miami podcast. My name is Montgomery. I'm the YA librarian here. And for today's topic, we're going to be talking about what had happened in the past 24 hours in regards to Roseanne Barr and her cancellation of a show over a tweet. So before we get started, let's go to my right and do an introduction.
My name is Chris Miller.
Oh, my name RJ.
My name is Nathaniel, aka the Big Nata. That's Nathan, by the way.
My name Josh.
All right, so if you have listened to the news, Roseanne Barr made kind of a racist statement about a former, I guess, not a cabinet member, but someone who worked with Obama, and made some kind of derogatory comment in which she looked like something from the Planet of the Apes. And as such, unfortunately, well, fortunately, in some cases, ABC acted really quickly in which they canceled their show, or her show, for another season. So the question is, do you think that it is a too severe punishment for a tweet, or was it justified?
What happened? My bad.
So there was a tweet from.
I know. I heard.
So after that, she tweeted what she tweeted, which sounded racist. There was her show that she's the main star of got canceled. ABC. You know ABC?
Yeah,
Yeah. So they decided to cancel the show. It's called Roseanne. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
I ain't never watched that before.
So
What that is?
it's a sitcom, TV show.
Oh.
Yeah. So Monty's question is it?
Jesus
what-
Christ, this tweet. Oh my god.
Yeah. Do you wanna read it out loud?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So she replied to an article that said, "New post WikiLeaks Julian Assange." I think that's how you pronounce it.
Assange.
No,
Assange.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
the
not that one.
Yeah, the original tweet was.
Oh,
Do
the
you want to
original?
say it, Monty?
Well, I mean, she's replying to this tweet.
Right.
The tweet itself is, "Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ."
Right. VJ was Valerie. I forgot her last name.
No.
Yeah, Valerie.
She
So-
wild for saying that. Whoever posted that.
Oh,
Wow.
they,
Well, that
they
was
had-
Roseanne.
they had no reason for posting that. That was green.
Oh, okay, so you guys think that was definitely wrong?
Like,
Yeah.
So,
is it like?
the consequence of that was the ABC canceled her show, the show that she was the main star of. Do you guys think that was too harsh?
Not really. If she said all that, if she said all that, then not really.
Why?
Because you call them, because you talking about somebody else.
Well, it's like
Well,
it's like we're in the United States. Like everyone has freedom of speech. Like everyone has their own judgments. Like,
But not really. But they don't
but
have to
like
post
I
it
know,
out
like
though.
even if she did say that, like it wasn't ABC's job to cancel it. It was like let the fans just throw it down the wells. Like
But
I think like
Well,
it's gonna
okay.
go down once. Like it's gonna go down. So it's,
Like
like,
Gio.
it's not gonna
It's
start doing anything.
it's not like they had to do that or it was.
I could say
like,
something.
Oh, true.
Okay, as like I guess she's a famous actress. As a famous actress, like she has to carry herself a certain way, cause she has to carry herself a certain way. Like certain things, even though you may say it, you don't post it on public because you have a reputation. Like you want to keep your reputation as clean as possible in the industry business. So as her being a main face of the show, making comments like that, like I know a lot of fans got irritated, and then ABC was like, "Oh, this is a popular, like she is supposed to have a good reputation. They don't want that to also hurt them
On that
because of that."
token, her reputation is kind of like that.
so you
It's
said
nothing new under the sun in regards to her comments.
Oh, I don't know, but like that's
Okay.
how a person like.
Right. But if you know this person acts a certain way, her show is basically on her life.
Oh,
There was an incident in which she was singing at a ball game, and she kind of purposely mangled the Star Spangled Banner, like really bad. And back before social media was on, people were upset that she did this. But there was no cancellation of her show. Within a week or so, it was like that all passed by. So what makes it different this time as opposed to what happened years ago?
Because you talking about somebody else, and it's not you that you talking about yourself. You talking about somebody else.
Can we just like reread that tweet again so that way I can really understand what she said?
So, her tweet, and I quote, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, which is equal to VJ.
Okay.
Which is the
Who's
person
VJ?
she's talking
Okay, but
Who's
okay,
VJ?
but
VJ is very
Valerie
something.
okay,
And
she was
but
talking
that's
who,
none of
who's
her.
like who's the Muslim Brotherhood? Who's she talking about
The
there?
Muslim people, yo.
Okay,
Like,
Because
they're-
Okay.
Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, and she's
Well,
comparing
the apes.
that Planet
okay,
of the
but
Apes.
that's none of her business though.
Who's the
Like,
apes?
So she's saying the person looks like
an
a
ape.
baby from Planet of the Apes with Muslim Brotherhood people come together.
But like she do know that people
Valerie Jarrett. by
She
the
do
way.
know that people have feelings though. So
Someone
that's
should
like
throw a
saying
rock
if
at her.
somebody talking about her child
You
and
should
her
stone her.
herself, she wouldn't get offended. Of course she'll get offended because they're basically talking about you, how you look. So just because you famous, you don't got to talk about nobody else. Just talk about your own self, but not nobody else. Cause what happen, they get really offended at that and come and get you. So that's not nobody's fault but your fault. So
like I was saying, like even though like she did it the first time and they didn't cancel her show the first time, she should have used that first time like as a warning, like because like I'm saying, you're an actress. You said kids, people around the world watches you, so like you should present yourself a certain way, like how you doing your mood, or like present yourself a certain way that is good for the community, like type stuff.
So you're saying the first time should have been a warning to her.
type stuff, like she should have stepped up from there.
I don't know anything about this lady.
I don't know neither.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
Well, she is a Trump supporter.
Oh man.
that's why she said that stuff.
man.
Just,
Hey,
oof right
just-
off the bat.
Let me stop you right there. Just like Trump said about I forgot the country, but he trying to start war with another country. But that's basically saying that he's talking about that country and trying to start that country with America and have a war. But if you switch it around, she is trying to follow Trump. She's trying to follow Trump and how he goes, since she is a Trump fan. So she's gonna do basically what he do, since they both famous. But Trump ain't gonna be famous for that long until somebody else come to be a president. So if Trump starts the war, and it's gonna mess up the whole Miami property, because if Trump started something, and then it's gonna be the government fault for letting Trump for doing that. So
I mean, Trump. Do you know who Donald Trump was before he became president?
no, not really.
I'm confused.
How many
so-
shows did he have?
Well, he had the
Apprentice.
the Apprentice.
Yeah, The Apprentice, and then
he did a whole bunch of Miss America pageants.
yeah.
But really, The Apprentice is what his big claim to fame.
Yeah.
And he did little roles in
Like Home Alone.
Home Alone 2, in which
Oh, yeah,
was
that boy
pointless.
Was
it's
on
pointless,
that.
but it's Donald
Yeah.
Trump.
Cameo.
He was promoting Pizza Hut.
Oh, that girl go to Rob Morgan.
Who's 81?
It's
She
my
go- She go
birthday.
to Rob Morgan.
It's my
I seen her.
birthday.
So going back to Trump, and your point is that because the president gets to do this, everyone gets a free pass.
No, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm saying that you should not like Abraham. Like it's like, why would you talk about somebody if nobody did nothing to you? Like, you should not say nothing to start things, and then somebody might end it the bad way, not the good way, but the bad way because you started things. Trump basically said when he was up on and cameras in front of news people and in front of other people. He said he'll marry his own daughter and stuff like that. So that's basically an embarrassment to him, no, to the people, his family. Because why would you say that in front of everybody? And that's supposed to be personal to yourself.
I'm confused. Are we still talking about the first topic, or did we? Just
It's
switch
still
it?
related
Yeah.
because the topic is Roseanne Barr being a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And the fact that right now it seems that, as we talked about in the previous podcast, how it seems to be open season, even more so about calling out people who are different from you and being able to feel like they can get away with that. And her claim was, one, she took it back because she said, "Oh, I didn't mean to tell you this offensive joke." And then she went back and claimed that she got up at 2 in the morning or something to that effect and was on ambient, saying that that was an ambient tweet. So that drug is the cause of her racism.
Oh man, I ain't even. Know
Ah,
she was
yeah.
on-
The good old
So she
racism.
racist?
We could
So she was
So
on
we could-
drugs.
go down like the other tweets.
So
she
you're
did.
saying
So-
that she is racist?
wait,
So
going
she-
back to the first one real quick though.
wait,
I think
That ain't cool.
Josh, you were making a point was why did she have to say what she said about
Yeah,
VAR, VJ?
cause like freedom, you have to have a freedom to say things nice, not wrong.
freedom
because
of
you
speech
know-
is just
That's
freedom
her
of
opinion.
speech. Freedom of speech is just freedom of speech. You can say what you
Well-
want, but it's not proper. Like you shouldn't say it, knowing like
That's
you have lots of supporters behind you who is watching you at all times.
the thing with
I know
freedom
that,
of
but I'm
speech is
saying
that.
that while you have to say that though, there's no point in saying that. Sorry.
Like,
So freedom of speech, that's against the government
Oh
specifically.
my bad.
Like, freedom of speech just means I can say that I hate the president and I don't have to die this time. Freedom of speech, it doesn't matter whether or not freedom of speech exists, is that ABC made the decision to say, since Disney owns them, of course, they want to keep up the, like, pretty relatively okay, like, socially acceptable personality that she had, and they wanted to make sure that she kept it under a level, and she got over that line, and they were like, all right, you're done. So freedom of speech, that's why she was on Twitter. That's why freedom of speech is a thing. But
yeah.
But like,
So-
if she said sorry, like if she said she didn't mean to on a comment, I probably accept that. But Donald Trump, he just don't care. He'll say whatever he wants just because he's a president. That
So-
don't mean nothing.
Donald
Okay,
Trump.
so let's go to
It's
back
the
to the
opposite.
tweets that
If
she
it
had
doesn't-
afterwards. So after she tweeted that, she actually did the first tweet after that was actually understandable.
Right. She apologized for the bad joke.
Yeah,
And
and
sorry that you guys didn't understand that it was a joke. But that's her sense of humor. And then after that, she blamed the drug that she was on, an Ambient, which is a sleep aid, that I guess didn't
Is
work.
it illegal?
No.
Oh,
But, there's drug commercials that you see on TV. It's like side effects may include.
being racist.
And
Don't use your phone.
believe it or not, Ambient, the drug company, made a tweet about that. It's like, we have a lot of great people who work for us who come up from diverse backgrounds. But one of the side effects of our medication is not racism. So it's one of those to counter what Roseanne said, and instead of throwing the pill under the bus,
yeah.
it's really Roseanne that has to take the blame for this.
So that's like saying like if
Good for
somebody-
them,
that's like
sticking up for
saying-
themselves.
That's like saying if somebody do something, and then you don't want to get choked. That's like saying you throwing them under the bus. So that's what you trying to say?
Well, okay. The thing you have to look at is that I can say something on my personal Twitter account. Okay. It's not going to be reflective of the library because it's my own
Your
personal
account.
my account. But because I represent as a librarian within the system, that
Yeah,
could
look
be
at that.
reflective of
Who you?
the library system. So ABC being a more family-oriented company who has Disney as their owner, there comes to be a time in which that's crossing the line. So the question then, and I brought up the Blackish article, in which there was one of the episodes in which they were to talk about the NFL players taking the knee during the national anthem, and Disney decided not to have that aired. So where does that kind of fit within freedom of speech versus kind of censorship? I mean, I understand why they did it, but it just seems kind of not quite the exact same level. They're practicing their freedom of speech, but yeah, Roseanne doing the exact same thing gets punished. So I'm not sure if you see the correlation or if it's lopsided.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying that Trump, he should get punished. Like, in my opinion, he should get punished for saying things like that and try to start things. I think he should not be a president one for trying to start things with another country, which the country had nothing to do with us. So why would you trying to start World War III after World War II and the USA Army already finished a long time ago? Why you trying to start it again?
So what about the shows that Monty was speaking of, Blackish, where they're talking about how NFL players would protest on their knees. They brought it up not to like choose sides, but just to educate people about the topic. And Disney decided to say, hey, that episode we're not gonna like air it out because it's crossing that line, like Nick was saying.
It's
Do you
controversial.
guys, it's too controversial. Do you guys think there should be like they should make those decisions like, hey, this is too controversial?
I mean, it's
Not put
Disney.
it out.
They're a huge company. Like,
Disney, yeah, like he said, they're a huge company, and they're trying to they have a standard to set, like how they being viewed is how they want to keep their image. They don't want nothing to affect how they would be viewed by other families and other companies because of one person's
Yeah.
mistake. So like,
So freedom of speech is kind of like
it's basically like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah, it's
going
limited.
through the same thing over and over again. Because, who was it? Logan Paul and Jake Paul. They did the exact same thing. They messed up with their reputation horribly in front of a public audience. And Disney was like, yo, can't do that. We're going to cancel your show.
what did they do?
Well, Logan Paul showed a dead body on camera
no.
on YouTube. Well, that was after.
Did they take
But-
it off?
What?
No.
What do you mean? Well, he went to Japan to the suicide forest, and that's a place where people commit suicide. And yeah, what?
So, but what is the point of going there? Is if it's not seeing, it's like if there's no point of seeing nobody dead. What happened if that the family sees that online, and then they're gonna want to sue whoever you said, Drake Paul. So what's the whole point of doing that?
I mean, that's one of the like purposes is that if like the family sees it, they're gonna want to take care of it. They're gonna be like, "Yo, can you take this video down? I'm either gonna sue you, whatever they want to do." But Disney, they don't like having that little bad mark on their reputation, so they canceled his show. And then I think directly after that, YouTube canceled him for like all of his AdSense, and he's basically shut down.
For good?
Pretty much. Like the only reason that he has a YouTube channel now is just to like plug his merch. So
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're just repeating that.
So do you guys think at all like ABC is like right for what they're doing with Roseanne, or Blackish, like
For canceling her?
canceling the show? Yeah.
Not
You-
not really. Like, well,
They're not.
50
Right, but they're not
50%
wrong.
chance.
Yeah.
I guess a little,
So what makes it 50% chance? What?
because she kind of had the right of saying that, so they should do it.
What would you guys have done if you guys were the owners?
I would tell her to do it the next day. And why would you say that? like there's no whole point of saying that on and if you're on live on ABC Mouse, there's on A I mean trivia on ABC, there's no point of saying that because you're literally talking like talking in front because you're literally like in front of a lot of people on camera that's watching you.
Yeah.
So there's no point saying that.
So for Lowell that's just joining in, what's up, Lowell?
Hi, how's everybody doing? Just
Hi,
got back
Will.
from work.
How you doing?
Hello, friends.
All right. So Lowell,
Yeah.
what we're talking about is I don't know if you know about Roseanne and the last past 24 hours. So Roseanne is a main actress
It's a tweet.
and the sitcom, her own TV show called Roseanne on ABC.
I kind of read a bit of it, but I didn't read like everything.
Okay. So there was. It started off with her replying to, the advisor of Barack Obama. What's her name again?
Valerie Jarrett.
Valerie Jarrett, and she made a tweet about Valerie Jarrett, and it reads,
I just show them too. Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, which is equal to Valerie Jarrett.
"What do you think about that comment?"
Well, all right. So Roseanne has a what? What does she do?
She's an actress.
Yeah, she's a stand-up comedian, and she has her own show based on her life and routine.
Well, obviously what she said was wrong. No, like you shouldn't make those comments at all. Like, why? I just think that like I remember coming up in like middle school when like social media just like boomed. Everybody's on Facebook. Like Twitter just came out, or like not just came out, but like Twitter's actually just like started popping. Like and the kids had to learn like, oh, like there are certain things that you should really like think about what you're saying. You know what I mean? If you wouldn't say it in real person, like when you're face to face with this person, don't say it when you're on social media. And even I've gotten in trouble in the past for like I guess they call it like quote unquote like cyberbullying. Like even I got in trouble for that. Stupid things, like, but that's me being young, but she's obviously an older woman. So I think it just goes back to like the old saying of, just think about what you're saying. And if you wouldn't say this to a person's face, why would you go ahead and think that it's acceptable for you to go ahead and post it on social media where you have a wider audience? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So because of that tweet, her show on ABC got canceled.
Yeah, of course.
And you said, do you agree with that?
Yes, because there's certain things that like, like the network, the network has to think, okay, like what's the best for our audience, I guess you can say, and they have to think, all right, like what's the feedback going to be? Because if you're going to just have like, you're going to continue to promote her show, but you're going to have 1,000 like different people like, oh, like why are you still promoting your her show, yada yada yada. It's like that's negative feedback on the network, and then you can even start to see like a decline in viewers around that time, and that's bad obviously for any network. And I think they did a good move by removing them. And like they're not the first network or like company that's decided, oh, we're gonna take an action against this entertainer, this artist or whatever because of what they've said or anything controversial that they've done. Like recently Spotify has started like removing artists from their playlist, but the problem with them, I feel like their problem is that like they're being a little bit more selective, and it's supposed to be part of like new policies, but the way that their policy states it and the way that they acted upon it, it doesn't like suit like hand in hand, because they've removed 3 artists, primarily like R. Kelly, XXX Tentacion, and I think like a third one.
6ix9ine.
Didn't remove them, did they?
I'm pretty sure they did. Cause
All right, but it's
Well,
like
didn't X say he wasn't doing music no more? He's taking down.
no, he's still doing music. That's a lie. But back to that is no, and that's for separate things like XXX Tentacion. He has a open case right now for allegedly he beat a woman. R. Kelly has a whole history of sexual misconduct. And I'm like, okay, so what about artists about like Chris Brown, who went to jail for, not went to jail, but he's been known for the Rihanna case. What about even X's like management team? They posted people like Red Hot Chili Peppers. They posted Michael Jackson. Like all these like separate people who had alleged cases, or they actually had like a full case going out about them doing something to some person, or just being like anything like controversial, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So like, why them? Yeah.
So I think like with Spotify, they actually have to like live by their full policy. If you're gonna take down a few artists for doing that, you might as well just take out all those other artists from your playlist, because a lot of people, especially within within the hip hop community, is that to say like they've have controversy, be it if it's true or not.
Yeah. So the question that comes from that is like, do you think this is like limiting our freedom of speech? Because don't we have the freedom of speech to say things? That was the next question
but
we was talking about.
but with freedom of speech, there's obviously things that you can't say. Like I have freedom of speech, right? But I can't go in the airport and say "yo bomb," because that's obviously gonna create chaos. There's gonna be controversy
It's like,
around it.
You can say it, but why?
Yeah.
Why?
No,
Why would
gonna
you?
get locked up? They gonna say, ain't you get locked up? Cause ain't they got the little terrorist thing? It's a
TSA?
They have TSA, FBI
The
coming
law,
after
the
you,
law,
because
yeah.
that's a real serious thing. Like
Threat, you
there's,
don't play about that.
there's
People
no
lose
need
their
to just
lives
say
about that.
bomb. So I think the same thing, like social media, like Twitter, is giving people wider, it's kind of like expanded the whole like freedom of speech thing. But then like people just gotta think like, why? You know what I mean? Why am I saying this? There's no need for me to say this at all.
In response to your Spotify thing, if I'm remembering correctly, they didn't take them off altogether.
Yeah.
There's not playlists,
Yeah, off the playlist.
but they can still find them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Roseanne, in addition to her show being canceled,
Mm-hmm.
other networks that were running her reruns pulled altogether.
Yeah.
So don't you think that Spotify should also have taken out those artists the exact same way?
Because even then, that's like another category too. Because
Yeah.
she's a comedian, so they would have to take off like Louis C.K. because he
And they
made
have.
he had some controversy over a
Right.
rape joke.
Well, not so much that, but anything that he has done,
Yeah.
there's no movie that he did before this all came out. His series is no longer available anywhere. So why is that done? But music, there's still availability to listen to Spotify to find them. Even though they're not on a playlist, you can still find them and listen to their music.
I think Spotify, like, there's like, it's sort of like a slap on the wrist in a sense. It's like, oh, don't touch any more little girls, R. Kelly. Like,
Jesus Christ!
like,
Can't say things like that. Dude.
yeah, right. Like, that's kind of what it is. It's like,
Oh my
because at the end of the day, Spotify, I guess, still sees like money in it. Like, and then, like, I honestly don't know. I would be okay with like them, like, I don't know, because I feel like they're paying favorites at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, you have it, like, Spotify has like more sponsors, I guess you would say. Like, they're into this new age where like music streaming is becoming big. So I guess they were just like at this point, like, oh wait, we gotta still like protect the brand. We're like top 3 streaming services
Yeah.
ever. Like,
Number 2.
Right, but that would also be protecting the brand. That's what Disney did,
yeah,
is protect their brand and got rid of Roseanne. Even though she had like 18 million people, and then the DVR came in with another 2 million people to watch her premiere show. So it wasn't as if it was a bad ratings bonanza. It was fantastic for ABC. But they saw this beyond the fact this is ratings and beyond the fact this is going to make us money. And they were projecting to have even a bigger revenue stream from them. But they decided this is against our brand. So Spotify, I guess, doesn't see it in that sense.
because I guess in a sense, like I don't understand why they do some of the things. Like, for me, it would have been like, yo, if you're gonna do it to one artist or 2 artists or 3 artists, do it to all artists. You know what I mean? But then I guess, like, I don't know, I guess they would see like the controversy. Like, like the backlash against their brand, because you got to understand, like people like R. Kelly are bringing in like millions of plays like per day, and then
Your boy,
and
Chris
then
Brown.
you got XXXTentacion, he's bringing in millions of plays per day. So in their sense, it may just be like, oh, like we don't want them to like be associated with us necessarily, because those are Spotify created playlists, right? But at the end of the day, like any artist can upload their music to Spotify, right? And that doesn't mean that honestly, like Spotify supports you. It's just saying, oh, we're giving you this platform to allow you to put your music on.
Because that would probably even damage the brand even more if they took them off, right? Because Spotify's
And
supposed to allow artists.
and then
to,
you're having artists decide, oh, well, I'm just gonna get off of Spotify. Like people still have the option to listen to these artists' music through Apple Music, through Tidal. No one uses Tidal.
Pandora.
Pandora. If you want to wait 15 songs for that one R. Kelly song, I guess like you're gonna go through a bunch of Silk and what, like Pretty Ricky.
So I get that. So, but when does like these repercussions or like these penalties become too much? Where like who's to say like what people are saying is right and wrong? Like they should be punished. So, for instance, Monty brought up earlier about there's a show called Blackish
Yeah.
on ABC as well, and there was going to be an episode that was going to be aired talking about why NFL players are taking a knee. So it was not necessarily choosing sides. It was just to educate people. It was still like, hey, so yeah, this is something. It was going to be between a dad and a son, and they were like going to talk about why this happened and stuff. They didn't air it. They decided no, it's too controversial. It's too we can't do it. Do you agree that should have like been canceled as well? Like, is that similar to what Roseanne did?
If we're gonna do that, right, you would have to like, because I think certain shows don't do it because they don't. They're not at that like level where they are allowed, I guess, in a sense. Like that's like I don't know. Like, because what I want to compare it to is like Family Guy. Family Guy says there's a lot of controversial things. It says like, but I think it's in a sense that like they say it in a satirical like way. Is that the word? Like satirical.
Yep.
There, boom. Oh, vocabulary. My SAT scores are high, but but yeah, they're saying it in a satirical way. So it's like people don't take it as serious, and plus for the fact that it's like a cartoon, I guess. But then you have people like if you're gonna do that, you have people like Dave Chappelle. Right, Dave Chappelle has saying a lot of controversial things within his career, but it's like no one's ever said, "Yo, Dave Chappelle, we're gonna get you out of here." If anything, Dave Chappelle at one point said, "Yo, I'm going to go ahead and leave."
So
he was just done.
you think it's the way you say it?
Not the
So, like, could have Roseanne made a statement like that a different way, but not have gotten penalized? What do you guys think?
Nah, because again, with the Louis C.K. thing, he did that joke and he executed it perfectly. The reason why it was controversial was because the topic of it, but he made the joke perfectly. Now, who was it? Daniel Tosh. He made another joke like the same year, and he got a ton of backlash for it because he didn't execute it right. It's like you have to set up what you're doing in the correct way.
So there is a way to execute it. So she could have somehow been like, I don't know, disclaimer.
It's lazy racism.
Yeah.
She could have made it a better job of being racist and make it funny.
If you're gonna be racist, be a good racist.
So she could have, I don't know, she could have like went a better way about it. So, okay. What are your thoughts on that, RJ?
I agree with y'all.
I already knew.
So there could have been a way she went about it where,
I mean, as a whole, she is very funny. I enjoyed her comedy as a stand-up, and I love watching Roseanne. Now, I stopped a couple episodes after the premiere because there was an episode dealing with a new neighbor who happened to be Muslim. And there was just like, telling Roseanne telling her husband, Dan, we got Muslims living next door, and we got to keep an eye on them. And then through the course of this episode, it wasn't so much the neighbors being the problem. There was someone else that was even worse. But the Muslim neighbors had to prove themselves to the Connors that they're one of the good ones. So when I heard about this, I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to see this anymore.
Yeah.
So to me,
The
that
signs were there.
right, and that's the other thing that we were kind of alluding to is that because Trump is president, that it seems like there's a lot more allowance of this kind of behavior that he does that other people think, hey, if the president can do it, so can I. And look, nothing happens to him. He's still president. So what's going to happen to me? Nothing.
It's like, well, buddy, your job your job like especially for like a music artist, like your job can just be like done within any single day. You know what I mean? Like for an artist like XXXTentacion, not to say that his career is necessarily like over because he's a well-selling artist and his music. Like I'm a fan of his music. I listen to his music. His music is like it holds up. So then I don't know. Like we still like. I think the bigger problem is where people are still trying to figure out, like, at what point do we separate, like, the artist and the person? Because is the artist really the same person as the, like, who are they? Are they different entities at the end of the day? But, like...
Well, because of Bill Cosby, I don't like pudding anymore.
Yeah. Pudding pops.
My mom stopped going to bars because of that.
And that's exactly the whole point. I can't not watch or listen to any of his comedy stuff because of what he's done. He's kind of tainted that. Whereas Roseanne, she's always like this.
Yeah.
There's I may not want to watch her show anymore, but she's still Roseanne, the comedian.
Yeah.
So she may not have a career per se, but I think she'll be able to make a living somewhere else.
So with that being said, there was actually a couple tweets after because she realized what she did was wrong. So
We
there
don't
was
like those.
the first tweet after was actually a very good tweet. I thought she apologized,
I'm sorry for saying what I said.
acknowledged the
Maybe.
damage that she did, because the show got canceled. She was like, I costed my coworkers their jobs and stuff, and the show and stuff. I apologize, but it started getting weirder after that because some tweets that she started posting after, and not only tweets but retweets, she was doing
The
as well.
conspiracy tweets.
Yeah, like it just started getting really weird. So she was backing other people who were bigoting and saying racist stuff and stuff. But the one that got one of the ones that got most attention was she blamed
A pill.
that tweet because it was 2 a.m. and she was on a pill. On an
Ambien.
Ambien pill. So
Okay.
after that tweet, soon thereafter, not too long, the maker of those pill, Santa
They just basically tweeted out saying that, we have a lot of great people who work for us.
Yeah.
But one of the side effects of our medication is not racism.
He clapped her up.
Clap backs like Wendy's.
Oh my gosh.
So do you think
You
it
listen to the
made it
tracks?
worse for her to
Yeah.
blame it on a pill and
Like-
how late it was?
Like that's like drunk driving and then blaming it on the bartender. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I was drunk driving because the bartender kept on giving me drinks. No, you were drunk driving because you were stupid enough to get inside your car drunk and drive.
I have a question. How do you stop drunk driving? Because, like,
Don't drink and drive.
yeah, but
Or
how
don't
do you,
drive.
How do you get to the
drink.
bar? Because there's a parking lot for
Uber.
a bar.
Yeah, bro. And
Take
then
Uber.
and get your car back in the morning when, no, not the morning, like the afternoon, because you're gonna have to work off that hangover, buddy.
I
I mean,
Yeah,
there's such a thing as taking
have your mom take
personal
you.
responsibility. And Roseanne didn't do that.
Yeah, no tweeting and on a pill.
Ambience.
Yeah, bro. But was it a what? How was the apology tweet? Because
You want to bring it up? Nick, bring it up.
She said a sleeping pill.
honestly,
I'm thinking she talking
I have a problem
Okay.
with
Another
apology
pill.
tweets, right? Because honestly, like if I'm gonna apologize, right? There's 2 ways that apology tweets go out. Hold up, bring it up, Nate. Hurry.
I got you,
Oh,
boy.
yeah, boy. Add me on there.
Where that
You like
though?
getting added on.
Oh, right here.
Oh my my gosh, I know it's not what I think it was. All right, because here's the problem. With it all.
Okay. I apologize to Valerie Jarrett and to all Americans. I'm truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me, my joke was in bad taste.
This sounds like
Why she said
Wait,
to
so
Americans?
that was
though?
one of them, but read the one where she
Why
tweeted
she
about the
said
bill.
to Americans? Is she tried a Muslim? Well, some Americans are Muslim. I don't know. She should have said apologize to the Muslim.
other one about
the
her
Muslim
job?
culture or something.
Here's what I feel.
All right, guys. So,
Oh wait, you on her Twitter? You got that?
All right.
so
She
what
says,
I
I'm not
missed-
racist, I never was, and I never will be. One stupid joke in a lifetime of fighting for civil rights for all minorities against network studios at the expense of my nervous system. Family wealth will never be taken from me. I blame myself repeatedly until your kind. She's talking to somebody else. But here's the problem I have with apology tweets. They're really just, I just feel like most times they're just like your management team saying, yo, you screwed up. Go correct what you screwed up real quick, all right?
It's a PR stunt.
It's like you have to go correct that right now. Like this is getting like real out of hand, right? And then like my least favorite are the ones that is a person and they typed it up in notes in iPhone notes,
Oh my god, I hate.
and
those.
then they post it
Copy and paste.
like bro, like I don't care. Like this is not heartfelt at all. Like I could literally tell you that you probably sat there in like 5 minutes and wrote that apology and said, "Oh, this is good enough." People, it's not to say anything to like everybody else because honestly, I think when controversial things happen, you're not apologizing to your fans because your fans most likely 9 out of 10 are gonna love you no matter what. You're
'Cause they're
apologizing to the
fans.
world, right? The world does not care that you got on your iPhone notes and typed up this 5-minute apology. It's not heartfelt. Nobody cares about that. At the end of the day, we want get on camera and say something. You know what I mean? Like
Or call that person
or
personally.
call that person
Yeah.
like, yo, like what I just said was completely out of line. I shouldn't have done that. Don't pull a Kanye though and just screenshot the fact that you talked to this person like he did with J. Cole and think that everything's gonna be all good. Bro, no.
Wait, what did you do?
No, he I guess him and J. Cole talked and then he screenshotted the fact that him and J. Cole
Oh, yeah.
and just, you know.
I remember that.
Yeah, like people I don't know, like
Okay.
So
Just
basically,
gave this
to
Martha
kind of sum up, is that you have freedom of speech,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have freedom of consequences.
you don't have freedom
good.
of
That's good.
Yeah, my gosh.
So, all right. So on that note, that's going to be the end of our podcast, and hopefully we'll get started with our summer
Yeah.
podcast.
I
and
enjoyed all 15 minutes I was here.
All right,
you
guys. So
guys.
thank you very much for listening to our podcast.